My calculations are correct. Today is Monday. So let's talk about some man shit. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Man Shit Monday. Today we're going to talk about a serious issue. We're going to talk about something that luckily I recently found a cure for, but we're going to talk about my struggle with EDC-DD. That's Everyday Carry Deficit Disorder. This is a very serious disorder caused from lack in your EDC system. You can have symptoms like inadequate lighting, low blade count, pin envy, fear or anxiety in EDC situations. This is a very serious thing that affects millions of men worldwide. But luckily, I found Hitch and Timber. After using Hitch and Timber for a short time, my EDC-DD has completely cleared up. You should be aware that using Hitch and Timber products can cause certain side effects. Sudden and uncontrollable urges to buy more EDC gear without warning, lower bank account balance. This has also been shown to result in sleeping on the couch in rare situations, involuntary Instagram postings. So please consult with your spouse before deciding if Hitch and Timber is right for you. All jokes aside, we are going to be talking about 3 products today from Hitch and Timber. If you haven't heard of Hitch and Timber, it is a great family-owned business ran by a guy named Michael who does just some fantastic leather work. They make all kinds of stuff in leather. They make knife slips and wallets and notebook holders. They make a lot of these kind of things, which are like EDC organizers. They're all hand-stitched, handmade. I've just been a huge fan of these things since I've been using them. Michael also has an awesome Instagram page, so I'll link his Instagram down below. Definitely go check it out. All the photos of his products on the website are stellar, and his Instagram, he really posts some just straight bangers on there. So not only is he really good at leatherworking, but he's also really a banging photographer. So definitely check out his Instagram and check out their webpage. We're going to go over 3 of the products that I have today, and I think it's a pretty good representation of some of the stuff that he has, but he has a lot more stuff than what we have time to go over today. Stuff much bigger than this organizer, bigger organizers that are really meant more for like keeping in your bag or in a backpack or something, all the way down to little leather pen slips and stuff like that. He also carries some EDC gear on his website. He sells some Swiss Army knives, some small flashlights, stuff like that. So definitely check out the website. I found out about Hitch and Timber through Taylor, and I know you guys are going to be like, Jesus, mentioning the Taylor again. This was just last video you talked about this, but I am a big advocate of giving credit where credit is due. And like I said, I found a lot of makers through watching his channel. So I have to give him the props for leading me to Hitch and Timber. I like to carry a knife, a secondary knife, like a Swiss Army knife, some kind of multi-tool. I like to carry a pen, maybe a small pad of some nature, a flashlight, my keys, my wallet, my phone, all the normal stuff everybody carries. I like to carry all that stuff, but I found that I often was not carrying all of it. It would just stay in the drawer. It was just too much shit in my pockets. It was too much clutter. You've got a flashlight clipped into this pocket. You've got a knife clipped into this pocket. You got a Swiss Army knife down in this pocket. Your wallet over here. You've got your phone. It ends up being too much crap. It's all clanging around and it drove me nuts. So I found that most of the time I was paring it down to the bare minimum: wallet, phone, keys, pocket knife. Well, this thing has stepped my EDC game up to where I've wanted it to be at for years. You slip this down in your pocket, and because it keeps everything lined up and flat, it really carries way better, even with the additional bulk of the leather. Really makes it much more manageable in your pocket. It also makes it to where he puts these little grommet holes on a lot of them. I tie a little leather lanyard. I can pull this guy out of my pocket and I have access to all my gear right here. Flashlight, pen, Swiss Army knife, notebook. It's all right here. Before, when I was trying to carry all that stuff in different pockets, I was having to go over here and, oh shit, no, it's in this pocket. I have to go over here. It was just all over the place. All my gear scratching together, getting beat up and scratched up. This keeps it all in one nice, flat, compact thing that I can carry very easily in my pocket and access very quickly and easily when I need it. I have tried some of the material type ones, like the Maxpedition type things. They're great for putting like a whole host of tools in. You get the Big Idea Design bit bar, the Big Idea Design wrench, cutter, a little thing I keep pills in, a pen. They're great for keeping a lot of stuff all together and nice and neat in your bag, but this is way too big to keep in my pocket, and it's heavy. If they're in your pocket and you need to access something quick, you gotta pull it out, you gotta unzip it. For pocket carry, this is not the way to go. I also love leather. We talked about this in the last episode. These have got that smell. They got the old baseball glove saddle leather, just really, really good smell. Leather, one of the things I really, really love about it is it does conform. After you put an item in here and you have it in here for a while, it fits like a glove. It custom forms to the item, holds it really nice and securely, but it's also easy to get in and out. I usually put lanyards on the end of my stuff to make it a little easier. But if you put big items in it, it does stretch a little bit, and then putting smaller items may not have the kind of retention that you would like. That's kind of a give and take of using leather, but I still would take leather any day over other materials. And as we talked about before, leather patinas, and it only looks better with age. Michael does a fantastic job building these things. They're all hand stitched. He's got a really nice embossed Hitch and Timber, and he's got a really dope logo on here. It's like this cool snake wrapped around an old lockback knife. If you don't like the Hitch and Timber logo, I don't think we can be friends. I've even got it on my Yeti. Look at that. See? Right there. Where is it? On the Yeti. See? I ain't bullshit. I like it. This is the Mini Engineer, probably one of my favorites, just because I feel like this is as big as you can get. This gives you the most capacity you can have and still make it pocketable. I'm about 5'10", 5'11" on a good hair day. About 190 these days. This fits just fine in my pocket. Doesn't seem too bulky or anything like that. If you are a bigger guy, you could possibly get away with the one size up from that, which I think the size up from this is called the Does-All. If you're a big 6'4", 250 pound dude. If you're smaller than me, then you know this might seem a little bulky. You might go down to one of the other options we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. I have a Swiss Army knife Tinker with brass scales, and that fits in there just perfect. Any Swiss Army knife of that size obviously will fit just fine. Something like a Benchmade Proper also fits in there very nicely. You could probably squeeze a Bugout in here. It would definitely go. This leather will stretch, so you could definitely cram a Bugout down in there. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to stretch it out, but you can see that that Bugout would fit down in that pouch. By the way, thanks Michael for making me spend $200 here. Michael, the guy who owns Hitch and Timber, has been posting all these sweet ass photos of his Bugout with brass scales, and after like the third or fourth pic he posted of it, I was like, man, I've got to go buy. So I went and got one and put the brass scales on it, which, by the way, have you ever changed the scales out on a Bugout? It is a pain in the ass. I had never changed the scales out on anything with an axis lock. I can usually change the scales out on a knife in like 5 or 10 minutes. It's really quick. This damn thing took me like 45 minutes or an hour. Lots of little springs and doohickeys. Might have been the first time I did it, but this Bugout, by the way, if you don't have one of these, I recommend you get one. Most fidgetable knife in my collection, I believe.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
My thumb is beat up. Since I've had this thing, I've just been fidgeting. Awesome, awesome knife. I think the only knife I have that might have a higher fidget factor, the Microtech Ultratech. Now, you want to talk about annoying the shit out of somebody? My wife is like, shut up. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever had an out the front, you'll know that the fidget factor on out the fronts is just off the chain. This is a close second. This knife is very, very, very fun to play with. Benchmade Bugout. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one. Great knife. But anyway, we're not talking about knives. We're talking about Hitch and Timber. So let me get back to this. Also a Prometheus flashlight. I know you guys are probably familiar with Prometheus flashlights. They fit just nicely. Anything about the size of Prometheus, an Olight i3T would fit in here. Anything about that diameter is gonna fit just hunky-dory. So you can fit a knife, flashlight, and over here you have an elastic pin loop. You can get it with or without the pin loop, so if you don't care about carrying a pin and you want to decrease the size just a little bit, but small EDC pins are very easy to lose, and this kind of combines it all in here, keeps it all together, and makes it really handy. This is a Kaweco Liliput. It's a kind of a small EDC-able fountain pen. Really cool pen, by the way. You can also fit one of these Big Idea designs. This is their TI Click EDC, is I think what they call it. You could fit one of these guys in here. This one's a tad long, but it can definitely go in here. The Big Idea design TI Pocket Pro. This is a little shorter job. That fits in there just absolutely perfect. So that would be a really good idea. Anything about in that size. I keep a Fisher Space Pen in here a lot. Lastly, around the back, you do have a little slot for a small notebook. I like keeping a little notebook with some paper on me. That way if I'm, writing down a shot list, if I'm doing some recording, or if I'm out and taking a shopping list with me or whatever. But if you don't really give a crap about carrying a notebook on you, this little pouch slot back here could very easily be a place for your cards and an ID. That way you could kind of have an all-in-one wallet and EDC organizer. You can just pop one thing in your pocket and you're ready to go. Me personally, I like having my wallet separate. If I'm pulling out my wallet to pay for something, I just want to pull out my wallet, get a card out, pay. I don't want to pull out my entire MacGyver EDC gear with flashlights and knives and all this stuff every time I have to pay for something. I tend to like to carry all my EDC stuff in one organizer and then just carry my wallet second. But to each his own, either one is a good choice. This one's going to run you about 67 bucks if I remember correctly. Great little organizer. Probably the one I carried the most. If you are a slightly smaller person, or that's just a little more pocket bulk than you want, you can go down to, this is the Runt 2.0. Same basic design. You got 2 pockets, grommet up here, and elastic on the side. This, however, is one size down from the Mini Engineer. This one you are going to lose a little bit of capacity. You're not going to fit like a full-size Swiss Army knife and stuff, or like a Benchmade prop or anything like that in here. But if it's summer and you're wearing some shorts, or you're big into skinny jeans and you got some tight ass jeans and you can't fit a lot in your pockets, this might be more suitable because this might be a little tough. But it still gives you the ability to have a secondary blade like a small Swiss Army knife, a light, and a pen on you. And here I have a Swiss Army knife Cadet Alox, which fits just absolutely perfect. I think the Pioneer, is the Pioneer the other one? I always get my Swiss Army knives confused, but I think a Pioneer is like the other version that's about the same size as the Cadet. So you could fit either one of those in there. Flashlight is gonna be about the same. You're gonna get like your Olight i3Ts, your Prometheus flashlight, stuff around that size is gonna fit in here just fine. And your pen loop is gonna be about the same also. Your Fisher Space Pens, your Kaweco Liliputs. I think this one is a little shorter, so I don't think I would put one of the bigger, like this click pen in here. The diameter is not a problem, but that starts to be like a little long. I don't think I would put one of the Big Idea Design clicks. The Pocket Pro though would probably still, yeah, the Pocket Pro would still work. It's a little bit long, but it would still be fine in this one. This one is in the color, I forgot to mention the color in the other one. This one is called Crazy Horse. He does have several different colors on all these things. The original one I showed you, the Engineer, this is called English Tan. This one again is the Runt 2.0, and this one's gonna run you about 47 bucks. Maybe you're saying, Jeremy, yeah, that's all great, but I'm not carrying all that crap. Either A, you're a minimalist and you just don't like carrying a lot of stuff. B, you wear some super skinny jeans and you can't fit barely anything in your pockets. Or maybe you do carry a bunch of other stuff and you just want to slip for your knife. Nevertheless, this is a more minimal option. This one is called the Proper Slip. It's called the Proper Slip, so obviously it's kind of made for a Benchmade Proper. That being said, it doesn't have to be a Benchmade Proper. Any slip joint or smaller knife about this size would fit in here just fine. Swiss Army knife fits in there, so if you wanted to slip for your Swiss Army knife, and again, you can get this with without the pen loop. So if you really just want a slip for your knife, you can do that. Or if you want a nice place to be able to just slap a pen on the side and keep that all in one nice compact little package, Bob's your uncle. I will say this green is not a color I would have picked. When I talked to Michael about this, I told him just to send me kind of an assortment. But man, am I glad that he did. This green is awesome. And it looks so dope with the green micarta scales on the Proper. I mean, I actually have some brass scales for this Proper and I haven't put them on yet because this damn green slip looks so good with the green micarta scales. I mean, it is just pimp. I love it. The green micarta, little brass with the Fisher Space Pen. I mean, that is just a cool little thing. And that's why I joked about these Hitch and Timber things making you spend money. It's one of the things that I really love about them. In my opinion, it just makes all your gear look cooler. You get this thing and you use this for about a year, 6 months to a year, and really get some nice patina going on the leather. You get you some brass or copper stuff in here all patinaed up. And I mean, damn, that looks good. I love it. I love the way it feels. I love the way it carries. I love the way it smells. I only bring stuff to you guys that I really like. That's why I'm really passionate about a lot of this stuff. It's not because I'm getting paid or anything like that. I really do love this stuff and I think it's good stuff or I wouldn't bring it to you guys. Definitely go check these guys out because it really does make for a great way to kind of consolidate your gear and make it a lot easier to carry more EDC items in a organized and nice fashion. As always, I will link all the products and websites and Instagram accounts for Michael and all that stuff down below. So if you guys are interested in checking this stuff out, you can do so. Michael was also kind enough to give me a discount code for you guys. So if you use the discount code ManShitMonday, that will give you 10% off on any Hitch and Timber products. So definitely go to the website, use that ManShitMonday code, get you some money off, and check out some of his stuff because it's great gear. All right, guys, so that wraps up another episode of Manship Monday. Hope you enjoyed this one. You got some good information and you enjoyed hanging out with me for a little while today. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week, and we will see you in the next video. I'm just going to be sitting here playing with my bug out. Thanks, Michael. $200. EDC shit gets expensive.